Bulletin and Daily News. Emmy Award winner at NFL Films and Pro Football Hall of Famer, has been a trusted conduit to football fans for over 5 decades. Author of 12 books, including Finished Business, My 50 Years of Headlines, Heroes and Heartaches. Didinger made the successful transition from print to the airwaves as radio and TV broadcaster for 94 WIP and NBC Sports Philadelphia. Rodney McLeod has life stories to tell and life achievements to share. The 10-year NFL safety went from an undrafted free agent to a Super Bowl champion as one of the foundational pieces of the 2017 Philadelphia Eagles. In April 2020, McLeod and his wife Erica started Change Our Future, which carries the mission statement to empower. Through their work, they've changed the course of many young lives in underserved communities through education, advocacy, and awareness in the areas of youth development and healthy lifestyles.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Maxwell Football Club Red Carpet Show. Bob Long and Bruce Badgley. And Bruce, we're excited for the evening here. We're going to have a night of great guests that'll lead right into the National Gala, the awards gala, where we'll honor tremendous folks that have donated time, money, effort, and have contributed to the game of football in so many ways. And Bruce, we have a very special guest to get us started here.
Well, they started us off last year. It's the Philadelphia Eagles cheerleaders. I'm going to pass this microphone around, and why don't you introduce yourself and tell us how many years you've been on the squad?
Sure. My name is Maya. It is my 3rd season on the squad. I'm really excited to be here tonight.
Hi, everyone. My name's Savannah. I'm actually from Moosic, Pennsylvania, right here where the Maxwell Awards are held. This is my 6th season on this team and my 3rd year as captain.
Hi, everyone. My name's Deja, and this is my 2nd season with the team and my 2nd time at these galas, so I'm excited to be back.
And hello, my name is Gabriella, and I just finished up my 4th season on the team.
Wow, Bob, we have a little bit of experience this year. Last year we had all 1st and 2nd year Eagles cheerleaders, but talk a little bit about how special it is for you to get out in the community and, represent the Eagles cheerleaders at events like this.
Yeah, we love reaching out to community, being first level with our fans. Anything that to do with the Eagles organization as a whole is just really meaningful. So to be that first level person to interact with the fans and everyone, it's just a really humbling experience. I'm always excited to get out there in the community.
So talk a little bit about why you wanted to become a Philadelphia Eagles cheerleader. There's got to be something behind the fact that, you do this for very little money and you sacrifice an awful lot of time.
Well, for me personally, dance has been a passion of mine since the age of 2, and I always knew that I wanted to do it on a much bigger scale, and I couldn't think of a bigger stage than the Lincoln Financial Field. Philadelphia is my home. I grew up here, so being able to be a part of this organization was a dream come true. So I knew that, trying out for teams is going to be difficult. There's a lot of competition, a lot of amazing people out there. But it just, the fans really drove me to this. I've been an Eagles fan my whole life. So if I was going to dance professionally, I knew that I needed to try to make it as the Philadelphia Eagles cheerleader. So I'm truly grateful to have been here for now my 2nd season. And I hope to be able to continue in this dream.
Well, good. And listen, talk a little bit about how you mix all the sacrifice of being an Eagles cheerleader with your professional life.
Sure. So my professional life, I do work as a trauma critical care nurse in Philadelphia. It's a very demanding job. I work day shifts and night shifts, long hours, but I do make a lot of sacrifices. I have to have really good time management to kind of figure out how I can manage both Eagles and nursing. I give it to my coworkers. They really help me out a lot, but I do make it work. I have made it work for the last 4 years, and it's been great.
So what is the most surprising thing about being an Eagles cheerleader that people may not understand?
Ooh, the most surprising thing would probably be how much fun it is, how close we all become as a family. These are my sisters. We have brothers on the team too. And it's the best of both worlds. We all have our full-time jobs, and then we come to each other after work, and we get to spend all nights together and Sundays the best day of the week on game days. So it's just so nice having a second family in home.
Well, good. Well, listen, ladies, congratulations. Thank you for being here, and we'll be back with some more guests right here in a moment.
The award-winning former columnist for the Philadelphia Bulletin and Daily News, Emmy Award winner at NFL Films and Pro Football Hall of Famer, has been a trusted conduit to football fans for over 5 decades. Author of 12 books, including Finished Business, My 50 Years of Headlines, Heroes and Heartaches, Didinger made the successful transition from print to the airwaves as radio and TV broadcaster for 94 WIP and NBC Sports Philadelphia.
Welcome back, folks. Bob Long, Bruce Badgley. That was a great first interview with the Eagles cheerleaders. And now we're introduced to our good buddy, Dave Micah. Dave, welcome. How are you?
Well, welcome. How you guys doing? Another great event for the first time, not in Atlantic City. So it's up here in Wilkes-Barre. And, for the people that are in this area that may not know a lot about the Maxwell Football Club, this is a great opportunity to come here. Listen, they give out awards, high school, college, NFL. There's so many different levels, and, it's going to be really exciting night.
Yeah, there are so many great players here. I mean, and you look at the honorees this year and all the honorees that we saw, last night, from years past. How special is it, like same time next year at the Maxwell Awards?
Yeah. Sorry, that's okay. So, yeah, I mean, you have guys like Jalen Hurts here, his coach, Nick Sirianni. You have the 3 players of the year in Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey, and, it's really exciting. You have the college guys here. Just a great opportunity to come here. Earlier today, they had their leadership award program they did. So a lot of kids in this area got to see firsthand what the Maxwell Football Club's about.
Yeah, that's the special part about the Maxwell Club is how much they give back to the game, right, Dave?
Yes, absolutely. We know, like, during the summer, throughout the year, they're doing camps in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, all over. And listen, they give back a lot to the communities and doing these leadership classes to, have players, former NFL college players speak in front of these young men. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah, it is a great opportunity. And, obviously with EasternPAFootball.com, just a big supporter of the Maxwell Football Club. We can't thank you enough. And, thanks for getting us involved, my friend.
You know what? Again, I think we all do a good job to promote the high school level. Year 23 is coming for me, and before you know it, we're going to be on the sidelines again.
Yeah, exactly right. Dave, thanks so much.
Thank
Bob,
you.
We'll go to a couple of videos of last year's honorees, and we'll be back with Sean Alexander.
Michael Williams caused nightmares for opposing coaches, offensive linemen, quarterbacks, and running backs. Everyone had to be aware of where number 24 was when playing Georgia's Hardaway High School this past season. That's the kind of impact the 6'5", 250-pound defensive lineman had. A 5-star recruit, Williams' dominance during the 2021 season came through by notching 81 tackles and 12.5 sacks. The University of Georgia signee proved himself on a national stage at the All-American Bowl practices, taking on and out-dueling Manning, the nation's top offensive line recruit.
Back at the red carpet here at the Maxwell Awards 86th Annual Sean Alexander. I mean, you actually have an award, the Freshman of the Year, Sean Alexander Award here. Yeah. And it's going to be presented to Drake May this year. Talk a little bit about, what you've been doing this last year and talk about the award.
The award it's just so fun to be able to pick the next big name in college football. This is our 5th year of having the Sean Alexander Freshman Player of the Year. Trevor Lawrence was our first guy. Kenneth Gaineswell, Philly kid, Will Anderson, who's here, who, just continues to be a great football player. Brock Bowers won it last year, and now this year Drake May, the quarterback from North Carolina. Just amazing young men, great football players, great ambassadors for their university. I've just been really proud to get to know them and kind of watch them journey on through football.
So it sounds like you stay in touch with them then, right?
I do. I get the great honor to mentor them in some things on and off the field. And just watching them play at such high levels and continue to get better, it's just pretty awesome.
So speaking of watching them play, I'm sure there's a process, a committee by which these winners are determined, but it's got your name on it. I'm sure you have a little bit of a say. Are you staying in touch?
I do. The Maxwell Football Club does a great job of screening, watching the guys, doing all the things. And I tell all the guys, I tell them pretty much from the semifinalists on, I don't have the last vote, but I get to vote. And I kind of tell them all the same thing. I'm one of the few guys that has an award where I'm young enough that you guys could bring me down. So don't mess my name up.
So I'm sure, everybody has their own eye when watching football. What stands out to you when you're looking for an impact freshman to honor?
Fairly quickly, I can understand the talent. We have eight. We call them football words that mount the award, but I really judge it. The first 4 on them, and the last 4 are on me. You know what I mean? And so the first 4 is talent, an ambassador to your university, character, and then what I call a legend. And so character they have to already have. You know what I mean? I don't say that anybody has to be Jesus, but they got to be. They got to be people are like they're doing a great job on their campus. An ambassador is a word as someone that speaks on behalf of. And so I asked their coaches, I asked the people on their campus, teachers and deans, like, hey, is this kid a representative of your university? And that means a lot to me because
live TV.
Hey, he's in the shot with Sean Alexander. He can't say that every day.
That's it. And then the final part is a legend. A legend is what the NFL calls a guy that's played in the league, and we want to see that kind of talent, that kind of that's going to have to be in them to be able to be in the league. And it's pretty fun picking the guys and watching them just go do what they do.
Well, we talked a little bit about what happened in the last year. There's some changes to the Alexander family, right? With some new additions?
Yeah, we just found out we're pregnant with our 13th baby.
Congratulations.
And so we're super excited. To have one is amazing, but to have 13 and just watching our kids grow. My oldest is now a freshman in college, and so it's pretty cool. 19 years old, and so it's just amazing.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Wow. Well, listen, thanks so very much for joining us, my friend. It's great to see you again.
That's great.
And,
great to see you, Sean.
Gosh, by the time we see you next year,
slow down. One year at a time. One year at a time.
One year at a time.
We'll just celebrate Drake playing great football.
Okay, great. Well, listen, we're going to go to a couple of videos, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Pitt's Kenny Pickett embraced what every quarterback knows. The way to an offensive lineman's heart is through his belly. Pickett not only made his offensive line healthy and happy by using his sponsorship opportunities for weekly hog dinners. He brought Pitt football back to national prominence with a record-breaking year by passing for 4,319 yards and 47 touchdowns and leading the Panthers to their first ACC championship. Selected as the ACC Player of the Year and projected to be an NFL first-round draft choice. Pickett was the winner of the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award and a Maxwell Award, Heisman Trophy, and Manning Award finalist. Rivals on the field, close friends off it. When former Villanova Hall of Fame coach Andy Talley called Casey Keeler, then at Delaware, to be a part of his Get in the Game program, Keeler didn't hesitate to get involved. Keeler's continued efforts at Sam Houston have found 25 donors from both schools that have saved lives. Keeler won the NCAA title at Sam Houston in 2021. becoming the only coach in FCS history to have national championships at multiple schools after winning the national title in Delaware in 2003. In Jonathan Taylor's first 2 years in the NFL, the Indianapolis Colts tailback already finds himself in esteemed company. Serving as the hub of the Colts attack, the former Wisconsin and Salem High School star led the NFL with 1,811 yards rushing and 18 rushing touchdowns. His 1,811 yards rushing was a Colts single-season franchise record, surpassing Hall of Famer Edgerrin James' record that has stood for more than 2 decades. Taylor became the youngest player in NFL history to record over 2,000 scrimmage yards and score 20 touchdowns. Taylor joins Hall of Famer Earl Campbell, former Eagle Carson Wentz, Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, and Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson as the only players to have won this tribute in their second NFL season.
Okay, back here at the red carpet show of the 86th annual Maxwell Awards. Got some very special guests here. Rasheed Bailey, former Brian Westbrook Award winner, and Mark Diana. I mean, Mark, you are the head honcho here. What's your official title anyway?
Bruce, I'm president and CEO of the Maxwell Football Club, a former Jim Henry Award winner, and been associated with the club for 37 years, and love honoring guys like Rasheed and other past winners when they come back and join us.
Well, good. And Rasheed, I mean, how great is, a former winner to come back? It becomes a brotherhood, right? I mean, year after year.
No, it really does, man. The Maxwells are super, super important to me on the foundation of who I am as a man. This award put me on the map. It gave me some nationally televised recognition, and I'm super, super proud to be a part of this organization. I recently just dropped my podcast, and I just did my second episode on the Maxwell Awards, so go check it out.
Wow, see, look at their plug already.
I love it.
Question, Bob?
I love it. So, Rasheed, to be able to play in the Canadian League, and I'm sure the ability to play at that high a level. Talk me through the standpoint of, hey, you're playing at the high school level, the college level, you're earned the award here at the Maxwell Football Club. What was the tier of athleticism and talent that you faced across your journey?
Oh, man, it's been, since I've been on such a roller coaster ride, I've been able to play against some of the best dudes in the world, from in the NFL to all the way up in the CFL, and now I'm a 2-time Grey Cup champion. And, for me, it's just been an honor just to share the field with some of these guys that I've shared the field with. I've seen Brandon Graham in there. I see a bunch of guys that I know in there. Jalen Hurts is in the building. I mean, it feels good to be around this kind of energy, around these kind of people, man, because, this is what it's all about. So, I'm super excited just to be here.
So the podcast that you have, what's next for you? Post-football, I assume you want to stay involved with the game. Looks like you already have.
Yeah. Well, motivational speaking is definitely my thing. The podcast is just another step for me to get my voice out there. I really, really enjoy speaking to the youth and giving a lot of love back. I really believe that kids need to really realize that dreams are possible, and if you just keep going, anything is possible.
Who were one or more of those folks for you? Who you're trying to be for the kids now? Who was the influence for you as you were growing up?
To win the Brian Westbrook Tri-State Player of the Year award, that to me, to wear number 36, to be the person and the man that he is and what he was for Philadelphia, Coach Andy Reid, everybody that kind of came before me, it was, they laid the groundwork for who I am, and I'm just walking in those footsteps.
Oh, good stuff. Mark, how great is it that, we have such a great crowd and hear a former award winner talk about the Maxwell Club like that?
Yeah, and Rasheed really kind of sold himself short. Not only is he a great motivational speaker, but as you know, we pride ourselves on honoring the game of football at all levels, the high school, the collegiate, and the professional level. And earlier today, we had 150 high school kids and coaches in, and Rasheed was one of the speakers at that leadership challenge. So not only does he come back for the awards, but he gives back his time. And so, we always talk about this being a football family. and he's a member of the family, and he's been a great member of the family. So we love having everybody back. And like you said, we have all the winners in the house tonight, so we're looking for a great night.
Good.
Mark, first time here away from Atlantic City in quite a while. How has the venue delivered?
Yeah, I mean, we were in Atlantic City for 20 years,
Yeah.
and we had the opportunity to come up here to, a bedrock of high school football up here in northeastern Pennsylvania, and the people here at the Mohegan, PA have been just absolutely terrific to us, and we can't say enough about the venue, their hospitality, and the great show they're putting on.
This really is a bucket list event for people in football, Mark. And so from your standpoint, to be able to be a guy, one of the many folks to help deliver that experience, what does that mean to you? And when your head hits the pillow tonight, what's going to be the feeling? I don't know, maybe that's late.
It'll be relief, first and foremost, because there's a lot of moving parts. But no, you're right. I mean, these are premier events each and every year because of the winners, because of past winners that come back and share their experience with us. And we couldn't be more thrilled. But it'll be a sense of relief later tonight when we hit that final show.
Wow, great. Well, listen, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Really appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity.
Pleasure to see you, and nice to meet you.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night. Thanks for having us.
Okay, all right. We'll have more videos of past winners. Take care. We'll be right back.
Jordan Davis redefined the game changer definition into a game crusher. That's exactly what the 6'6", 340-pound defensive tackle did to opposing offensive game plans. Despite being constantly double and sometimes triple teamed, Davis was a disruptive force in the middle of the Bulldog defense, recording 32 tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, and 9 quarterback hurries in the Bulldogs' drive to their first national championship since 1980. An AP and coach's All-SEC first-team choice, along with All-American recognition. Davis passed on the NFL draft to return to lead the Bulldogs' defense during their historic 2021 season. In Jonathan Taylor's first 2 years in the NFL, the Indianapolis Colts tailback already finds himself in esteemed company. Serving as the hub of the Colts attack, the former Wisconsin and Salem High School star led the NFL with 1,811 yards rushing and 18 rushing touchdowns. His 1,811 yards rushing was a Colts single-season franchise record, surpassing Hall of Famer Edgerrin James' record that has stood for more than 2 decades. Taylor became the youngest player in NFL history to record over 2,000 scrimmage yards and score 20 touchdowns. Taylor joins Hall of Famer Earl Campbell, former Eagle Carson Wentz, Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, and Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson as the Brian Dawkins' career and impact go far beyond words. Considered undersized coming out of Clemson as a second-round choice in the 1996 NFL draft by the Philadelphia Eagles, Dawkins went on to become a 9-time Pro Bowl.
Will Anderson is here with us, former winner of the Chuck Bednarik Award. And Will, fantastic to meet you. Thanks for being here on the Maxwell Football Club Awards Red Carpet Show. Now, Will, from a standpoint of your tremendous career at Alabama, could you sum it all up for us?
In one word, I could just say a blessing. I had so many stuff going on in Alabama, so many blessings, so many highs, so many lows, but it just got me to the point where I'm standing here right now. I'm super blessed to be here. I want to just thank Coach Saban for believing in me, Coach Sal Sinceri for believing in me, the whole Alabama staff, my teammates, everybody from the top floor to the bottom floor. I just want to say thank you, and I couldn't be more happier than the decision I made to go there.
That's great. And, of course, a lot of football still to play for you. Take your talents to the next level. What has that process been like?
It's been a process. It's been great. Nobody in my family has done anything like this before, so I'm just taking in the whole moment, taking in this experience. I'm not taking it for granted. And, the combine is over. I get to relax a little bit, go on these visits, keep working out, go to events like this, meet phenomenal people. And I feel like that's what it's all about. But the whole process has been great, and I'm really excited about it.
Tell us about SEC football. It's its own religion down there in the South. What is that like week in, week out in those types of venues against those types of teams?
Yeah, SEC, that's the best football in college right there. We call it like the mini NFL. but it's not like it. I know I was going to play SEC football. You got a challenge every week. A lot of great, tackles, a lot of great running backs, quarterbacks, a lot of great talent in the SEC, and it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody, but it's fun.
Your quarterback was honored here last year at the Maxwell Football Club Awards. What was it like playing with a guy like Bryce Young?
Yeah, if I could play with him again, I would.
And who knows, maybe.
But I don't know, the chances of that is very slim.
I know. Well, at least next year it's going to be tough. That's right, down the line.
Yeah, but that guy right there, I would have his back any time of day, any place. He asked me, Will, I need you right quick. I'm on my way. That's the type of person he is, the type of impact he's made in my life, helping me on and off the field. I'm super grateful to have him in my life as a brother and as a friend and as a teammate. And I always got his back and he always got my back.
Last one for you, and we appreciate you taking the time. Standpoint of football, what football has done for you and what football, means to you, if you could sum that up.
Yeah, football has brought me so many opportunities, man. But I think the biggest thing is the relationships it brought me. Jumping up and down with your teammates, spending all those memories, making memories with those guys. That's what football is all about to me. Making those memories with all those guys in the locker room, having a good time, going out there, making plays, celebrating. Those are things you don't remember. So, the players are good, but having people out there that you really love and that you care about and that play beside you, that's what the biggest meaning of football is about to me.
Bednarik Award winner Will Anderson, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
In Jonathan Taylor's first 2 years in the NFL, the Indianapolis Colts tailback already finds himself in esteemed company. Serving as the hub of the Colts attack, the former Wisconsin and Salem High School star led the NFL with 1,811 yards rushing and 18 rushing touchdowns. His 1,811 yards rushing was a Colts single-season franchise record, surpassing Hall of Famer Edgerrin James' record that has stood for more than 2 decades. Taylor became the youngest player in NFL history to record over 2,000 scrimmage yards and score 20 touchdowns. Taylor joins Hall of Famer Earl Campbell, former Eagle Carson Wentz, Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, and Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson as the only players to have won this tribute in their second NFL season. Brian Dawkins' career and impact go far beyond words. Considered undersized coming out of Clemson as a second-round choice in the 1996 NFL draft by the Philadelphia Eagles, Dawkins went on to become a 9-time Pro Bowler, a 5-time All-Pro, a member of the NFL's All-Decade Team of the 2000s, and Pro Football Hall of Famer. Over a 16-year career, Dawkins' excellence on the field amassed a total of 1,131 tackles, 37 interceptions, 26 sacks, and 19 fumble recoveries. Everyone knew the middle of the field belonged to number 20. A painful lesson Atlanta Falcons tight end L.J. Crumpler discovered during the Eagles' 27-10 victory in the 2004 NFC Championship game. After football, Dawkins has been a beacon of light for those with mental health struggles through his own revealing story of the mental health anguish he overcame early in his career. A leader on and off the field, a true warrior and a caring family man.
Okay, back at the 86th annual Maxwell Club Red Carpet Show. Bob Long, Bruce Badgley. I've got Will Howard. Will, you're from. You go to.
I'm his younger brother.
I know, Will Howard. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, Ryan Howard.
Yeah.
Your brother Will's being awarded Special Player of the Year award contribution. But talk a little bit about how it's been for you having Will be your brother and what the Maxwell Award is doing, for other kids here in high school.
Well, I think it's really helping kids excel at all aspects of life, whether it's giving back to the community, in the classroom, on the field. It's really important, and obviously it means a lot to my family. We've been here before, and I think it's a great organization.
Well, and so your brother now, how has the Maxwell Award, work with him on, getting him here and all the arrangements to, have him become part of the Maxwell family?
They set him up perfectly. They give him all the tools he needs to, come out here. And, represent, the award that he's winning.
Yeah, I remember watching him play at Downingtown back in the day. We're big high school football junkies, and a tremendous experience for him, I'm sure. Some great success. How do you feel that District 1 and everything that occurred there in, Chesmont League, right?
Yeah.
How that impacted his transition to the college level?
Well, obviously, I think it's a very high level of play, very high intensity. So I think that made the transition to college ball a lot easier than it would be if he played in a lower level or easier schedule. And
there's not that many guys from Philadelphia area that end up playing football at Kansas State. What drove that decision?
No, I mean, for me, it doesn't matter where. I think Kansas State is a perfect place for me. It matches me from a personality standpoint, a football standpoint. I love the fans. So for me, it was just a perfect fit.
It's great. Mm-hmm. That's great.
Well, listen, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Enjoy the night. I know that it's going to be
it's
going to be interesting having him, get up on stage and everything like that. Won't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, listen, thank you very much. Appreciate, all you do, and, go Whippets.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely. Go Whippets.
All right. Thanks a lot. We'll be back after a few commercials of our former winners.
At times last season, opposing offenses facing Villanova may have sworn that they saw 10 versions of Forrest Ryan in the field. The Wildcats' 6'1", 235-pound linebacker had a knack for being everywhere. Ryan capped a monster year by leading the FCS with 154 total tackles. Selected first-team FCS All-American, Ryan tallied double-digit stops in 6 of his last 7 games, including a career-high 21 in the FCS playoffs against Holy Cross and South Dakota State, while leading the Wildcats to a 10-3 finish and a share of the CAA conference title. In his first year starting for Alabama, all Bryce Young did was set the college football world on fire. A consensus first-team All-American and All-SEC selection, along with being selected SEC Offensive Player of the Year. Young won the Heisman Trophy, Davey O'Brien Award, Manning Award, and became the 5th Alabama player to win the Maxwell Award, joining A.J. McCarron, Derrick Henry, Tua Tagovailoa, and Devontae Smith. After spending his freshman season backing up Mac Jones, Young established Alabama's single-season records with 4,872 yards passing and 47 touchdowns, and handing eventual national champion Georgia its only loss in the SEC championship game. Young was the game MVP after throwing for 3 touchdowns and SEC championship game records with 421 passing yards and 461 yards in total offense. In his first year of college football, Georgia's Brock Bowers established several firsts himself. The 6'4", 230-pound freshman tight end was a USA Today and ESPN first-team All-American. He was first on the Bulldogs in receptions with 56 catches for 882 yards and 13 touchdowns. All Georgia records. A native of Napa, California, Bowers' 13 touchdown catches were also a single-season Bulldogs record by any receiver. He became the first tight end to catch 10 passes, a career high in the SEC championship game against Alabama. In 2020, Baylor slugged through a 2-7 COVID-19 shortened season, casting doubts on the program. It didn't take long for second-year head coach Dave Aranda to push the skepticism aside. In an incredible turnaround, Aranda pulled Baylor back into national title contention. Under his patient guidance, the Bears finished 12-2, winning the Big 12 by beating then number 5 rated Oklahoma State, then putting the exclamation point on it with a 21-7 Sugar Bowl victory over Ole Miss, the Bears' first New Year's Day Bowl win since 1956. As a result, Baylor earned its highest final ranking in program history, finishing number 5 in the AP poll and number 6 in the coaches poll. Severely by injuries to key players and stymied by limited in-person coaching due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Zach Taylor saw his first 2 seasons as head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals stand at a combined 6-25-1. Taylor answered any doubts emphatically in his 3rd season with a 13-8 record and the AFC Championship, beating the 2-time defending AFC champion Kansas City Chiefs in overtime to get there. Taylor's Bengals joined the 1981 San Francisco 49ers and 2003 Carolina Panthers as the only teams in NFL history to reach the Super Bowl 2 years after having the NFL's worst record. Rodney McLeod has life stories to tell and life achievements to share. The 10-year NFL safety went from an undrafted free agent to a Super Bowl champion as one of the foundational pieces of the 2017 Philadelphia Eagles. In April 2020, McLeod and his wife Erica started Change Our Future, which carries the mission statement to empower. Through their work, they've changed the course of many young lives in underserved communities through education, advocacy, and awareness in the areas of youth development and healthy lifestyles.
Okay, we're back at the 86th Annual Maxwell Awards, and we didn't get all the Eagles cheerleaders on the first time, so we thought we'd get the balance of the squad. So, gosh, it's Mandy, right?
This is Corrine.
Okay.
Yes, I was here last year,
Yes.
and we love being back every single season. So thank you again for having us. This is my 6th season on the squad. I'm one of the captains this year, and I was actually in Japan for the Goodwill Military Tour during the Super Bowl.
Wow.
So I got to bring a little bit of the Eagles and the Super Bowl feel all the way to Japan. So it was such a really cool experience.
Wow, how about that?
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
Good. And your
I'm
name?
Kaylin.
Okay, how many years on the squad?
This is actually my rookie season.
Okay.
Picked a good season to be a rookie, right?
Picked a good season to be
Yeah.
a rookie. What are some of the things that you really enjoy about the Eagles cheerleading squad that you really didn't understand before you got on the squad?
Right, so I'm actually originally from Canada. So being involved in the Philadelphia community is a unique experience. I think that we're really lucky to be in such a community that is so heavily invested in their sports teams. And something that we really love about being a part of the Eagles is the community involvement that we get to be a part of. We love being a part of the Eagles autistic community. Just the initiatives is really unique to the Philadelphia Eagles, and we're really proud to be about that organization.
What are some of the differences in sports between Canada and the United States, between sports fans?
Yeah, so I think that Philadelphia is unique in its own way. Canadians are a little bit more relaxed at their games. There's nothing quite like the fans at the Lincoln Financial Field, but we're so blessed to be a part of this community for sure.
Good. Wow. Question?
How was the year? Simple as that. I mean, from a standpoint of not every season you have a team that's going to the Super Bowl. What was that like?
Honestly, like she said, the Eagles fans are one of the best in the NFL. And every game, no matter if it's raining, if it's shining, if it's cold, if there's snow, they will show up. And so you can bet for those 2 home playoff games that we had, and even in Arizona, there were Eagle fans there. And when I was in Japan, we had so many Eagles fans representing who were deployed. So it's amazing to just see Eagles everywhere.
Yeah, that is great. That is phenomenal. Now, did you guys know pretty early on that this was a good team, that this team had a chance to make a deep run?
Every year I just feel like there's always just something special. The coaches do a great job of just creating that atmosphere for them, and they all want the same thing, and they're all going to be, pretty much like a family, and that's how we are as an Eagles cheer team as well. We kind of grow to be a family every single season with new members that we have, and we're always there to just work really hard and do our job, and it showed this year on and off the field. They did what they needed to, and they got to the Super Bowl.
You guys support this event so well every year. What is this event like for you? Is it one of your favorites each year? Well, I'll say for you. I know you're a rookie. It's your first time. You'll have to let us know after the night, but for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I just love the aspect that you guys get to recognize so many different levels when it comes to football and athletics. From the players to the coaches. I think it's just great to be able to recognize everyone, and it gives also the younger players, something to look up to and look forward to maybe reach as a goal for them later on in life.
Wow, fantastic. Well, listen, hopefully we'll see you again next year.
Yes.
And hopefully the Eagles will, obviously get over the hump and, actually get to the, across the finish line for a championship. Listen, thank you very much for joining us again, and for the first time, and we're going to run some more highlights of last year's event, and we'll be back in a couple minutes.
Hampered severely by injuries to key players and stymied by limited in-person coaching due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Zach Taylor saw his first 2 seasons as head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals stand at a combined 6-25-1. Taylor answered any doubts emphatically in his 3rd season with a 13-8 record and the AFC Championship, beating the 2-time defending AFC champion Kansas City Chiefs in overtime to get there. Taylor's Bengals joined the 1981 San Francisco 49ers and 2003 Carolina Panthers as the only teams in NFL history to reach the Super Bowl 2 years after having the NFL's worst record. Rodney McLeod has life stories to tell and life achievements to share. The 10-year NFL safety went from an undrafted free agent to a Super Bowl champion as one of the foundational pieces of the 2017 Philadelphia Eagles. In April 2020, McLeod and his wife Erica started Change Our Future, which carries the mission statement to empower. Through their work, they've changed the course of many young lives in underserved communities through education, advocacy, and awareness in the areas of youth development and healthy lifestyles. Entering 2021, the Pitt Panthers were not supposed to be a top 25 team. The Panthers were not considered serious contenders for the ACC title. Pat Narduzzi knew better. In his 7th year, the Pitt head coach led the Panthers to an 11-2 record and the program's first ACC championship. The Panthers' 11 victories were their most since they went 11-1 in 1981 under coach Jackie Sherrill and quarterback Dan Marino. Since 2015, Narduzzi has led Pitt to 36 ACC victories, the league's 3rd highest win total. He is one of 2 coaches with multiple victories over Clemson in that span, joining Alabama's Nick Saban. Nick Singleton did in 1 season what it takes most high school football players to achieve over a career. The Governor Mifflin 6-foot, 215-pound senior was the nation's #1 high school running back. After rushing for 2,043 yards and 41 touchdowns and leading Governor Mifflin to a 10-1 record this past season, he averaged 13.2 yards per touch, including 12.4 yards per rushing attempt, and scored every 3.89 times he touched the ball against defenses designed to stop him. Now enrolled at Penn State, Singleton was selected Gatorade's National Player of the Year and chosen to play in the All-American Bowl. The Maxwell Football Club's annual Jim Henry Award is more than just about football. Mr. Henry, the former Maxwell Club chairman, insisted the award be a unique balance of football prowess, academic excellence, and dedicated community service. No one exemplified that better this past season than Governor Mifflin running back Nick Singleton. He smashed every Mifflin school record, rushing for a career 6,716 yards, averaging 11.2 yards a carry, and scoring 110 touchdowns. Now currently at Penn State, Singleton was an honor roll student at Mifflin who donated his time to local youth football camps. Pitt's Kenny Pickett embraced what every quarterback knows. The way to an offensive lineman's heart is through his belly. Pickett not only made his offensive line healthy and happy by using his sponsorship opportunities for weekly hog dinners, he brought Pitt football back to national prominence with a record-breaking year by passing for 4,319 yards and 47 touchdowns and leading the Panthers to their first ACC championship. Selected as the ACC Player of the Year and projected to be an NFL first-round draft choice, Pickett was the winner of the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award and a Maxwell Award, Heisman Trophy, and Manning Award finalist. Rivals on the field, close friends off it. When former Villanova Hall of Fame coach Andy Talley called Casey Keeler, then at Delaware, to be a part of his Get in the Game program, Keeler didn't hesitate to get involved. Keeler's continued efforts at Sam Houston have found 25 donors from both schools that have saved lives.
Next guest up here on the Maxwell Football Club Gala Red Carpet Show is Ray Dininger, Philadelphia sports legend. How are you, Ray? It's great to see you here today.
Always great to see you, and yeah, it's very exciting. We're really looking forward to coming up here and bringing the Maxwell Football Club up to Luzerne County and bringing it to the Mohegan, and it's been great. I mean, it's just been a couple of days here, but they've got a full house, sold all 600 tickets, and the response and the reception here has been just overwhelming.
It really is a football-crazed area here, is it not, up here in the Lehigh Valley and up to Wilkes-Barre, a football-crazed area. What does the pigskin mean up this way?
Well, you know, I think that's one of the reasons I really like the idea of coming up here, that, you know, everybody knows that Maxwell started in Philadelphia and 1935, and it was there for 65 years, and then went to Atlantic City, which made a lot of sense. But, I mean, Pennsylvania is a great football state, and they play great football all over the state. And I think something like Maxwell, which really represents all the best of football, is something that should move around. And I think the reception that they've gotten up here and the hospitality that we've been shown up here has been everything that the committee hoped it could be, and then some.
I know that you have experienced a ton of great feedback over your years in radio, but now that you have a chance to stand back and look at, you know, all the great years that you had in radio, what has been some of that reception and feedback that you've gotten?
It's been funny in the sense that I keep getting asked, "How are you enjoying retirement?" And
I asked you that question yesterday.
And I kind of say, well, it doesn't look very much like retirement, does it? I really did plan to retire. That was my plan. And I was happily retired until the Eagles went off and did what they did this year. And they got to midseason, and both the TV and the radio station of Philadelphia called and said, and my wife predicted this, she said, they're going to call and ask you to come back. And they did. They said, would you come back for the postseason?
Yep.
And it was very obvious at that time that this team had a real chance to win the whole thing. So I said, sure. And so I came back January, February, and it really was a great ride. And to cap it off by being here tonight for this big event, and then to see Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni win the two big awards is a really nice way to bring it to conclusion.
A couple of guys that had people questioning, right or wrong. Well, in this case, wrong, right? People questioning whether they were, both of them, able to get to the highest level. What does it say about both of those individuals?
Oh, yeah, well, you're right. I mean, no one knew who Nick Sirianni was when they hired him. And there were many questions about Jalen Hurts when they drafted him. He was a good college player, but can he be an NFL quarterback, a winning NFL quarterback? That question was being asked even a year ago. Well, I think he's answered that now. And Nick Sirianni, if there were any doubters about him as a coach, I think that's all gone by the boards now. I mean, you look at what they did this year. I mean, 14 wins, franchise record, most points, most touchdowns, most sacks. I mean, it was a great season for the Philadelphia Eagles. And a lot of the credit has to go to the coach, and a tremendous amount of the credit has to go to the quarterback who, that was a bitter loss in the Super Bowl, without a doubt. But if there's a silver lining in it anywhere, I think any Eagles fan could walk away and say, we have a quarterback who's going to win us a championship. It didn't happen this year, but to see the growth in Jalen Hurts, I think everybody feels like it ain't far off that he's going to win a championship because he definitely has what it takes.
It's a copycat league, Ray, and it feels like the Eagles' offense this year was different, right? Different in the way they brought all three options into the offense. Different in the way that unabashed, they'll go for it on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 with a sneak every time. Different in that they'll really lean into the strengths of Jalen Hurts. Do you feel that in a copycat league that you'll see more offenses the next 2-3 years similar to what the Eagles did this year?
Well, I think the game and the league is trending that way. I mean, you're seeing more quarterbacks that have this kind of skill set. You see what a truly dynamic offense it is, how hard it is to defend, when you have a team that has that kind of versatility, and you have a quarterback that can do the kinds of things that Jalen Hurts can do. I think, look, there will always be pocket passers. There'll always be the tall guy that stands in the pocket and throws the ball. But you're seeing now, with the speed that you have on defense, that having a quarterback that can do some different things and put pressure on the defense gives the offensive play callers and the entire offense a lot more weapons and a lot more versatility. And, you saw that with Jalen Hurts this year. 35 touchdowns total, rush for over 700 yards. He kind of represents where the NFL is headed, and the Eagles are lucky to have him.
Yeah, but don't forget about that defense, too. One of the top-ranked defenses in the league. Do you see that, trending upwards for the Eagles next year as well?
Well, a lot of this whole conversation we're having now is predicated on what Howie Roseman's going to be able to do to keep the team together. There, as always happens when a team goes to a Super Bowl or wins a Super Bowl, there's always a lot of change. You lose coaches, which this team has already done, and you lose players to free agency. And there's a salary cap that prevents you from keeping guys that you would otherwise like to keep. So it's going to be a very different roster next year. There's going to be a lot of guys that are going to be gone, and it's going to be a challenge for the coaching staff to sort of put all those pieces back together again. But to your point, the defense was really good. They were number one, set the record with sacks, and played very well. They have to live with the bitter taste of the second half of the Super Bowl when they let a 10-point lead get away. But you can't wipe out the fact that this team had a tremendous year. And it really was a year in which everybody contributed. And I think it's going to be a big challenge to get back. It's hard to get back the year after a Super Bowl, especially when you lose. History tells you that. Out of the 56 teams that have lost a Super Bowl, only 8 got back the next year and only 3 won it. So it's hard. It's a real hard challenge. But they have the coaches and they have the players. I think that if anybody can get it done, these guys can get it done.
Well, I tell you what, thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Same time next year?
I certainly hope so.
Ray, nice to see you.
Great to see you again.
All right, we're going
to go. Have a great night.
Going to go through some highlights from last year, and we'll be back.
Keeler won the NCAA title at Sam Houston in 2021, becoming the only coach in FCS history to have national championships at multiple schools, after winning the national title in Delaware in 2003. Pitt's Kenny Pickett embraced what every quarterback knows. The way to an offensive lineman's heart is through his belly. Pickett not only made his offensive line healthy and happy by using his sponsorship opportunities for weekly hog dinners. He brought Pitt football back to national prominence with a record-breaking year by passing for 4,319 yards and 47 touchdowns and leading the Panthers to their first ACC championship. Selected as the ACC Player of the Year and projected to be an NFL first-round draft choice, Pickett was the winner of the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award and a Maxwell Award, Heisman Trophy, and Manning Award finalist. At times last season, opposing offenses facing Villanova may have sworn that they saw 10 versions of Forrest Ryan in the field. The Wildcats' 6'1", 235-pound linebacker had a knack for being everywhere. Ryan capped a monster year by leading the FCS with 154 total tackles. Selected first-team FCS All-American, Ryan tallied double-digit stops in 6 of his last 7 games, including a career-high 21 in the FCS playoffs against Holy Cross and South Dakota State, while leading the Wildcats to a 10-3 finish and a share of the CAA conference title.
Okay, we're back at the 86th Annual Maxwell Awards. Bob Long and our good friend Joe Santaquito. You're a man of many sports, sir. High school, boxing, football, basketball. But the Maxwell Award, always near and dear to your heart, right?
Yeah, it is. It is, because you get to see a lot of people. You get to talk to a lot of people you haven't seen in a while. I'm getting an education. I got a chance to speak to Will Howard, who I covered at Downingtown West. And I just discovered Ryan, his younger brother, who's going to Kansas State to join his brother. All this time I thought he was a senior.
Yeah.
And you see him, I mean, he's
a monster.
He's 6'7", 315. He's a junior. He's going to be back another year.
Yeah, we had him on a little earlier.
Yeah. So this is, it's kind of neat to see a lot of people. You see a lot of people in their, we'll just say natural habitat with their hair down, so to speak, with the people that do have hair. But but it's a great atmosphere. It's a great environment. Like I said, it's very relaxed, and it's fantastic. Every year I love this.
Yeah, I tell you what. And I think coming to the Poconos, I mean, what do you think about the move?
It's good. It's we get to see a different side of things. Physically, it's bigger, so there's a lot more leeway. Especially for us short round people. So I got some movement here. I'm not getting in the way of anyone. But the star powers, that's what gets me. I mean, we had everybody who's anybody show up for this. So even our man Dave Mikan, Eastern PA football. So it's it's something special and it's something unique. And I like to use the term, it's a celebration of football, because that's exactly what this is. I mean, high school, college, pro, it is a celebration of football, what the sport is, what the sport's about, and the character involved in the sport. I mean, because you certainly need it to get on that field and do what these guys do. It's something very special.
Joe, a lot of very deserving honorees here tonight. Who stands out to you and why?
That's a great question.
Well, thanks. Those are the only ones I asked.
You know what? I spent a lot of time with Brandon Graham. I've gotten to know Brandon personally on a lot of different levels, on a lot of different fronts. I think for Brandon, this is nice. This is a great talk about a celebration of, and I'll use the words, I had the pleasure of writing the Brandon story for the program and spending a lot of time with him, spending a lot of time with his wife. And here's a guy that is on top of the food chain and finds the time to call a schmo like me. And we spent some time on the phone and what this means to him. And it came out to be a 1,100-word, 1,200-word story. But it's actually a story that probably could have been written in 4 words, which I did include in the story. Everyone loves Brandon Graham. And he does. We know what he's done on the field, on the football field. What this guy's done off the field is amazing. I mean, he's impacted so many lives. I mean, he comes here. He hasn't moved. He's been there for the last 25 minutes to a half an hour. He hasn't moved. He's been engulfed by people. He's at the eye of a humanity there, and that to me, other people that get to see that, other people get to talk to him and to see him. He's a very tangible individual who does tangible things. I'm going to pat myself on the back for that one. So,
thanks.
Thank you.
Hey, there you go. He's got his 15 seconds of fame.
This is live TV, red carpet show.
Sure is.
I mean, it can be understandable, but so over the years, who are some of the favorites? Obviously, Brandon Graham, one of your favorites. Who are some of your other favorites?
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes. I'll never forget that. That was in AC. And usually these guys make the rounds. I think you guys were there. You guys came a year after that.
I think the year after.
Well, you guys were there for the Mahomes year?
No, I don't believe so.
So usually for some of these guys, I mean, they make the rounds. They glad-face people. Now my man Mike is going to embarrass me. They glad-hand people. They take the pictures, all that stuff, right? And the thing that impressed me about Mahomes is, I'm not going to name names. Some of these guys come back. They're not exactly crazy about doing this. Mahomes went back out again and made the rounds again to people in the room. That, to me, spoke volumes as to who he is as a person. You could see why. I mean, right there in front of me, I could see why the Kansas City Chiefs love this guy. I could see why they rally around this guy. I could see why they believe in this guy. He is a people generator. He's a people person. He's a person of character. And that to me, I mean, that was very recent. I won't forget that.
Wow.
The other one that goes up there, and they had the leadership thing, which I think was your year. You guys were there. Was B-Dog talking to those kids. I mean, he had grown men come in there. He had guys. He had honorees from that year come in there to listen to him.
That was last year.
And that was just wow. I could still hear B-Dog. I mean, I would hire him if I was an NFL team. I would hire him to give my personal speeches to people.
Wow.
So
that's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Well, I tell you what, it's been a pleasure, my man.
Yeah.
I mean, we were all together last time. Really, was the state football championships, right?
Oh yeah.
So we'll have to do that again next year. We'll have to do this again next year. Joe, always a pleasure, my friend.
Okay, guys,
All
thank
right?
you.
Nice
Thank
to see you,
Thank
Joe.
Zach Berman, you got to get him on here.
Yeah,
There you go.
we sure will. All right.
One more quick break, and we'll be back.
Yep.
Jordan Davis redefined the game changer definition into a game crusher. That's exactly what the 6'6", 340-pound defensive tackle did to opposing offensive game plans. Despite being constantly double and sometimes triple teamed, Davis was a disruptive in the middle of the Bulldog defense, recording 32 tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, and 9 quarterback hurries in the Bulldogs' drive to their first national championship since 1980. An AP and coach's All-SEC first-team choice, along with All-American recognition. Davis passed in the NFL draft to return to lead the Bulldogs' defense during their historic 2021 season. In 2020, Baylor slugged through a 2-7 COVID-19 shortened season, casting doubts on the program. It didn't take long for second-year head coach Dave Aranda to push the skepticism aside. In an incredible turnaround, Aranda pulled Baylor back into national title contention. Under his patient guidance, the Bears finished 12-2, winning the Big 12 by beating then number 5 rated Oklahoma State, then putting the exclamation point on it with a 21-7 Sugar Bowl victory over Ole Miss, the Bears' first New Year's Day Bowl win since 1956. As a result, Baylor earned its highest final ranking in program history, finishing number 5 in the AP poll and number 6 in the coaches poll. In his first year starting for Alabama, all Bryce Young did was set the college football world on fire. A consensus first-team All-American and All-SEC selection, along with being selected SEC Offensive Player of the Year. Young won the Heisman Trophy, Davey O'Brien Award, Manning Award, and became the 5th Alabama player to win the Maxwell Award, joining A.J. McCarron, Derrick Henry, Tua Tagovailoa, and Devontae Smith. After spending his freshman season backing up Mac Jones, Young established Alabama's single-season records with 4,872 yards passing and 47 touchdowns. In handing eventual national champion Georgia its only loss in the SEC championship game. Young was the game MVP after throwing for 3 touchdowns and SEC championship game records with 421 passing yards and 461 yards in total offense. In Jonathan Taylor's first 2 years in the NFL, the Indianapolis Colts tailback already finds himself in esteemed company, serving as the hub of the Colts attack. The former Wisconsin and Salem High School star led the NFL with 1,811 yards rushing and 18 rushing touchdowns. His 1,811 yards rushing was a Colts single-season franchise record, surpassing Hall of Famer Edgerrin James' record that has stood for more than 2 decades. Taylor became the youngest player in NFL history to record over 2,000 scrimmage yards and score 20 touchdowns. Taylor joins Hall of Famer Earl Campbell, former Eagle Carson Wentz, Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, and Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson as the only players to have won this tribute in their second NFL season. In his first year of college football, Georgia's Brock Bowers established several firsts himself. The 6'4", 230-pound freshman tight end was a USA Today and ESPN.
Ron Jaworski, our next guest here on the Maxwell Football Club Red Carpet Show. Ron, so good to see you. How's everything going in your world?
Everything is absolutely fantastic. It's great to be up here in the Wilkes-Barre area at the Mohican. What a great group of people that are here, a great turnout. The hospitality has been awesome, and we're celebrating football once again.
First time in 20-plus years that we're not down in Atlantic City this weekend. How does it feel to be up this way?
It's been fantastic. You know, we're very proud of our history. The Maxwell Club is the oldest football club in America. We're in Philadelphia for many years. We took a little trip down to Atlantic City for about 20 years, and it's great to be up here. People have been absolutely fantastic. The hospitality has been awesome. And what a great turnout of not only the people that have supported the Maxwell Football Club, but our award winners. It's been a great, great turnout.
So many great award winners, but who stands out to you and why?
Well, the quarterback. It's all about the quarterback, guys.
Always, Josh.
You know, we got the Eagles quarterback and then the Penn State quarterback, so you know it's about the quarterback. But there's so many good football players here, and not only players, but people that love the game of football. And, you know, I get asked a lot because I served as the Maxwell Football Club president for 25 years, you know, what makes our club so much different? And, you know, hey, I love the Heisman. I love what they do. But the Maxwell Football Club does 20 times more, 30 times more. We celebrate football 365 days a year, 24 hours a day at all levels, professional, high school, collegiate, and Little League. You know, so we support the game, administrators, and those that coach the game. So we feel very proud of our history and our heritage, and the Maxwell Club will continue to grow the game.
What are some of the things that you think are going to trend up in pro football with different offenses and, you know, defenses? So talk about defenses, you know, we're kind of getting smaller because of a lot more passing. But what do you envision for pro football as far as a metamorphosis of the game?
Well, we're seeing an evolution of the game. It's becoming a passing game. And not that coaches want to go to the passing game. They know the best way to win right now is with the passing game. The rules allow it. You know, you can't touch wide receivers. You can't hit the quarterback. You know, I mean, the quarterback's target is from his throat to his belly. Other than that, it's a penalty. So he knows he's well protected. Wide receivers don't go will now go over the middle because they know there's no Ronnie Lott, Brian Dawkins waiting in the middle for him to, you know, puncture the lung when they catch a pass. So the game has changed. And, you know, quite honestly, I think Roger Goodell did the right thing from a health standpoint of opening up the game. I think it certainly made it wildly, wildly good for the offensive players.
Wow, great.
Ron, there have you been here for many, many years, involved for many years, as you mentioned, and I know that we'll see some fantastic speeches, heartwarming speeches this evening. Is there a speech or two from years past that really stands out to you?
Well, you know, through the years, we've had so many incredible people. Going back to Howard Cosell back in 1983, the year Danny Marino won the award as well. You know, that was probably one of the biggest crowds we ever had. That's when Howard Cosell and ABC Monday Night Football was at its prime, and you know we jammed the Adams Mark down in Philadelphia, and Howard was just a remarkable guy. You know, we've had speeches given by Vice President George Bush, who spoke at, I think, probably a couple of years after that. So through the years, not only has it been football players, but we've had, you know, announcers and vice presidents and you name it have celebrated the Maxwell Football Club, and more importantly, celebrated the game of football.
Well, listen, Joss, thank you so much.
My pleasure. It's great to be up here. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Hey, thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much.
Celebrate the game.
All right, thanks a lot. We're going for our last break. We'll be back with a close in a minute.
In Jonathan Taylor's first 2 years in the NFL, the Indianapolis Colts tailback already finds himself in esteemed company. Serving as the hub of the Colts attack, the former Wisconsin and Salem High School star led the NFL with 1,811 yards rushing and 18 rushing touchdowns. His 1,811 yards rushing was a Colts single-season franchise record, surpassing Hall of Famer Edgerrin James' record that has stood for more than 2 decades. Taylor became the youngest player in NFL history to record over 2,000 scrimmage yards and score 20 touchdowns. Taylor joins Hall of Famer Earl Campbell, former Eagle Carson Wentz, Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, and Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson as the only players to have won this tribute in their second NFL season.
At the 86th annual Maxwell Awards, Bob, wow, the end of our red carpet show. I can't believe it's already been an hour. What a
an hour plus.
Oh, an hour plus.
Yeah, we went past the time frame, but can you blame us? So many great football men here that we had the opportunity to speak with. I want to thank our folks from Fox 43 that have been helping us out with the production. Could not have done it without them. Couldn't have done it without you, Bruce. Dave Micah chasing down guests. Sean Alexander, of course, stands out. Ron Jaworski, what a way to end it. And maybe nobody really takes the temperature of a football conversation the way Ray Didinger does.
Oh, my God. Ray was incredible summarizing, you know, the Eagles, you know, not only this year but next year. And Ron Jaworski talking about pro football moving forward. I mean, so much history, football history in those two men, and that's really what the Maxwell Football Club does. It embraces history. It embraces legacy. And not only at the professional level, but college and high school as well. That's what's so special to me.
So now we'll take a break. It'll be about an hour and 10-minute break or so. Folks are making their way into the ballroom. They'll have a nice dinner, and then it's time for the gala. And we'll have the live stream of that gala produced by Jacob Media and all the great folks there involved with the Maxwell Football Club. Some great honorees that you'll see and hear from. Bruce and I will bring you in about 10 minutes before it starts, and then we'll close it down for 10 minutes after it ends. But this is a night that you won't want to miss. Follow the Maxwell Football